all of this, and of course the funky farmer, he needs your help.
Someone is driving around on 828 HHT. Can your radio listeners find our old tractor? I would absolutely love to see it.
Because basically about 50 years ago, your little bottom was sitting on it.
I learned to drive a tractor on it. And I've got a picture of myself and my brother and sister sat on it when I was probably about 4 or 5 and my brother and sister were about 2, sat on it. I've got a couple of other pictures of it in the farmyard and one in the field. And I've just got happy memories of driving it. And I'd love to know where it is.
And I've got pictures of that, and I've just tweeted one out of that particular tractor on @Kazza Talk Martin. Okay, it's over there now @Kazza Talk Martin, and we're going to talk more to the funky farmer in a bit to find out more details as to what we are looking for with this tractor. So if you've got one, maybe it's in an old barn or something under a bit of tarpaulin, or maybe you use it, then we need to track it down and see if we can reunite it with his owner. And if you don't want to part with it, maybe just let him have a little drive round on it or something like that. It might appease him. You never know. But our lovely Kate went out to have a chat with him last week, so we'll have more of that on the way for you in a bit. So
what a weekend I've had, flipping heck. Roller coaster, I can't believe it. After what you're going to hear in a minute is the radio broadcast that was putting out an appeal on Saturday morning, 7:45 in the morning, saying, does anyone know where our old tractor is? Flipping it. Anyway, it worked. I'm really lucky that someone was listening, the owner's wife was listening, and well, we've tracked our tractor down. Now this is audio off the radio. I have got a video coming up, which is where I went down to see this tractor, and the good news story is it's coming back to the farm. It won't be here for a few weeks, so I've got to sort out transport and see the guy and everything. But keep watching for bits of updates and stuff. This is just showing you how it was tracked down, which is flipping it. I didn't realise how lucky I was, really, because since I've put this out, or it's been out, loads of people messaged me saying how they're looking for their old tractor, and some people have been successful, but a lot of people are struggling because farmers aren't very good at registering stuff, are they? Anyway, this is a story. Stay tuned. It's great. They put the our tune music on it as well. That's quite funny. Anyway, stay and listen if you can. It's a nice story. It's a good news story. We all need a bit of good news, and we all need a bit of luck, don't we? And I've had a good bit of luck with this.
Find out more details as to what we are looking for with this tractor. So if you've got one, maybe it's in an old barn or something under a bit of tarpaulin, or maybe you use it, then we need to track it down and see if we can reunite it with his owner. And if you don't want to part with it, maybe just let him have a little drive round on it or something like that. It might appease him. You never know. But our lovely Kate went out to have a chat with him last week, so we'll have more of that on the way for you in a bit. So Massey Ferguson's, we are on the hump for one this morning, but it's got to be a particular one. It's a Saturday morning breakfast show. Now, this time last week, I was chatting to the dairy farmer Richard Cornock, also known on YouTube as the Funky Farmer. Now, we got chatting about our love of vintage tractors, and it turns out that Richard's first love was a little red Fergie, a Massey Ferguson, that he can't get out of his mind. In fact, he would love to be reunited with it, and he wonders if you can help. Now, our reporter Kate Clark went to Richard's farm in Titherington to find out a little bit more.
Back when I was a kid, there used to be a little red Fergie tractor on this farm, a Massey Ferguson 35, okay, and it was our loader tractor, which I think was on the farm from about the mid-60s until we sold it in 2004. And we sold it in 2004 because it was just in the way, and we'd already had a couple of more modern tractors, so we thought we'd get rid of it. Fast forward 20 years, and I'm thinking, oh, do you know what? That little red tractor, I'm quite attached to red tractors. I wouldn't mind one myself. But then I thought, I wonder where our red Fergie is. Anyway, the problem I had was the pictures we had didn't show its number plate. They only showed part of the number plate. They only showed 828, and I couldn't work out what it was. Anyway, I've been racking my brains how to find the number plate on this tractor, because we haven't got any paperwork or anything left. Anyway, the other day, it struck me. I thought, eureka moment. I remember when I was a kid seeing number plates painted on some of the old equipment that we had. So I basically started ferreting around the farm. The first thing I found was the back of a trailer, an old trailer, and it had part of the number plate. It had 828H on it, but the rest of the number plate I couldn't see. The second eureka moment came when I went into a really old shed we got and found this little old cart, really small, lovely little thing. And on the back of that is 828HHT, which I found on DVLA website. It's actually still taxed. Someone's taxed it, so still out there. It's taxed at August 24. It's a 1960s or 1959 red FE Massey Ferguson diesel. It's out there somewhere. I don't know where it is. We sold it to a chap called Ted Cuff, who was a dealer at the time. He's obviously, I think, he's no longer with us. He must have sold it on. Someone is driving around on 828 HHT. Can your radio listeners find our old tractor? I would absolutely love to see it.
Because basically about 50 years ago, your little bottom was sitting on it.
I learned to drive a tractor on it. And I've got a picture of myself and my brother and sister sat on it when I was probably about 4 or 5 and my brother and sister were about 2, sat on it. I've got a couple of other pictures of it in the farmyard and one in the field, and I've just got happy memories of driving it, and I'd love to know where it is.
If we find it, what are you going to do?
Well, I'd love to go and see it. I'd love to go and meet the chap or lady that's got it and maybe sit on it again. That would just be wonderful.
Oh. So remind us, what's the number plate?
It's 828HHT. Now, we're coming up to a season when there's going to be vintage tractor and machinery shows. There's tractor runs. If you're ever out and about, remember that number plate, 828HHT, and see if you can find it.
Someone somewhere has got that or knows where it is. So if you can help locate the little red Fergie with the number plate 828HHT. Right, let me say that again, 828HHT. Can you get in touch with us? Okay, I'll give you more details and we'll recap that number after the news at 8 o'clock. But I am on a mission now to reacquaint Richard with that tractor. There's loads of videos and pictures, and I'll send you links to those as well, or tell you where they are. But we've got to find it for him. I really can remember doing exactly the same, sitting on my dad's tractor, and I've got a picture of me sitting on it, and even in my memory I can smell the smells that I could smell in that tractor and in that cab. So we need to find it again. 7 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Saturday morning, and it is your breakfast show. Now, I've got to be honest with you. In my career on the radio, I have searched for lost dogs, maybe even a cat. I think we had a parrot at one point, and a tortoise that popped up too, but never a tractor. But today we have changed that because we're searching for one.
Someone is driving around on 828 HHT. Can your radio listeners find our old tractor? I would absolutely love to see it.
Because basically about 50 years ago, your little bottom was sitting on it.
I learned to drive a tractor on it. And I've got a picture of myself and my brother and sister sat on it when I was probably about 4 or 5 and my brother and sister were about 2, sat on it. I've got a couple of other pictures of it in the farmyard and one in the field, and I've just got happy memories of driving it, and I'd love to know where it is.
So if you can help locate the little red Fergie with the number plate 828HHT, then get in touch with us if you possibly can. And you can go and see the tractor on Richard's YouTube channel. All you need to do is to search for The Funky Farmer on YouTube, and he's also on Instagram as well, so you can search for him there. And people are wanting a bit more info, so I can tell you now it is a diesel 3-cylinder with the exhaust on the left-hand side, and it changed ownership in 2012. So any more info that you have on that would be fabulous, and go and check out the video for yourself on The Funky Farmer on YouTube, and we're going to tweet that out in a bit as well. But any info, call me
0800 121 7575.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
Oh, you see, we are on a mission and we're not going to rest until we've located it or found it. I'm really hopeful that he can find it. And if somebody's got it and you're thinking, oh, I just want to hold on to this because I love it, he just wants to come sit on it again. All right, just come and reacquaint himself with it and you will make his day if you can do that. So thank you very much indeed.
Okay, so that was the sort of appeal they put out on Radio Gloucestershire about 7:45 a.m. Now, what was amazing was that by about 20 past 8, I was getting a phone call and some voice messages from Kate Clark, who's the producer of the programme, and also the woman who came down and interviewed me the week before. I was getting messages from her saying, well, you can hear what she's telling me. So things were kicking off. And then, so listen to that. And then after that, you can listen to me chatting to the guy who actually has the tractor.
Richard, we have found the owner of your tractor. I'm going to give you a call in a minute. I'm just going to have a chat to this person now. We need to verify it, don't we, to make sure that it's not somebody just joking us. Have we thought about how we're going to do that? I've got a picture for you. What's your email address? And I'll forward it straight to you. Looks like it's in good nick.
Well, we've been on a mission this morning to track down a little Massey Ferguson tractor. Did I know that when I got up this morning, that's what we'd be doing? And this little tractor was once in the possession of the funky farmer who we talked to last week. Now, we were locating it. It's a little red Fergie. The number plate was H28HHT. And we were wondering if anybody happened to have it or know where it is or anything like that. And we've got the funky farmer on the line now. Good morning to you, Richard.
Good morning. What a wonderful morning.
Tell us about the morning. Is it beautiful out there? Is the
it's
sun
a lovely
shining?
blue sky day, which is a bit unusual because this winter's been awful, hasn't it?
It's been horrible and it's been wet as well. But do you know what would cheer up the day? To find this little tractor that you've been seeking, that you once sat on, that you had so many precious memories of and brought you so much joy.
I remember driving down the road with L plates on it, believe it or not. That's true. When I first started driving tractors, you had to put an L plate on if you were under a certain age. I think you could drive a tractor when you're 16, I think. So that Massey Ferguson had L plates on the front of it when I was 16.
And how much would it mean to you to be reacquainted with it then, to actually seek it out again?
Well, I just love to see it. I mean, so that tractor's been on this, or was on this farm for about 40 years. And, you know, my early years I learned to drive a tractor on that tractor, you know?
Right. And have you ever kind of like looked back and thought, I wish we'd kept that?
Well, it's only the passage of time, really. So we sold it in 2004. And at the time I was quite a bit younger, didn't have any kids, wasn't married, and didn't, you know, when you're young, you're not looking back, are you? You're looking forward and thinking, I want a brand new shiny tractor, which is what we did when I bought a new tractor. And it's only as I've got older and you start getting a bit sentimental, I suppose, and you look back and you think, oh, why did we get rid of that? Well, you know, I wonder where it is.
Oh, well, listen, Richard, when we played that out an hour ago, there was somebody that was actually listening to the radio. And when we kind of like read the registration, gave a bit of a description as to that little Massey, a little light bulb went on in her head and she thought, I think we may have one of those in the barn. And she went and she had a chat to her husband, David Spencer, who we can talk to now. And we are going to see if this tractor is, in fact, the tractor we are seeking. So good morning and welcome to the show, David.
Good morning.
So we're wondering if this is the same tractor. You have sent us a picture over of the little Massey, and to the best of your knowledge, because the reg is the same, the tractor the same, you've got Richard's old tractor, haven't you, David?
I pretty certainly have, yes.
Right.
That's amazing.
I bought it from a dealer bloke in South Gloucester, and I can't remember what the village was.
Probably Itchington, I think.
Yeah, it could be. And I needed a little. I've got a little grey Fergie that was my father's, but I found it wasn't really up to doing much real work these days, so I needed something with a bit more and decent hydraulics on it. And so I went round looking for one, and I bought this one, and, well, I've been using it on and off ever since for the last years. Yeah.
So I'm curious, because I did see a picture earlier, and it hasn't got a roll bar on it, and it hasn't got the loader on it that we sold it with. Did you buy it with a loader at all, or was that taken off before you got it?
Those things in the barn, but I didn't use the loader.
No.
Because they're not very practical, really.
That's right. I
tell
you one thing. I'm really good with the loader because I learned to use that loader so much because I used to clean out all our cattle sheds with that 35. So
really?
I got to the point where, and I've still got the block that goes on the back of that tractor to balance the weight of the loader at the front.
Oh,
because if you fill the loader up with muck, the weight on the front would mean the back wheels would lift off the ground.
And
so my dad made a concrete block that went on the back link arms to balance the weight.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so we've located it. So, Richard,
That's
this
incredible.
is your tractor that David has got.
Well,
David,
David's tractor, really, isn't it?
Well, it's your tractor, David.
Yeah.
You've been using it for years. But would you be okay with Richard perhaps coming and having a picture? Because once upon a time, if we go way back, his little backside sat on it. Could his bigger backside sit on that tractor now? Would that be all right with you, David?
Yes, absolutely. He'd be very welcome.
Bless you. David, I'm so glad. So your wife was just listening and heard this pop up on the radio this morning.
Yeah, she has the radio on when she's doing cleaning the cats, because she's got a cat sanctuary. And so she was doing all the feeding and cleaning. And you started talking about this old tractor, and she thought, this must be the one. You know, and actually I had to go over to the barn and look at the number plate just to make sure it was the right one.
Oh, well, listen, we have found it. And do you know what? That was done in record time. I thought this was going to last a few months. Do you know what I mean? But you've done it. You've nailed it in an hour. We've found it. We've put you in contact with Richard, and you are going to actually meet up with one another, and Richard can sit on this tractor. David, thank you so much. And thank your wife. What's your wife's name?
Rain.
Well, bless her for listening and coming to get you, and for you calling up so that we can reacquaint Richard with the tractor for just a picture. David, thank you very much indeed. Richard, can you send us a picture of you with your bigger backside on
absolutely.
that now?
I will do, 100%.
Bless you. We want to see this, and go and make another video, because if people look up The Funky Farmer, you put a video out about it, and now you can do a bit of an update, can't you?
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much to David. Thank you to Richard. And there we go then. He can have another picture now. I'm not suggesting that Richard's got a big backside. I'm just saying it's probably bigger than it was when he was tiny. That's all I meant by that, before he sues me.
So there we have it. What a result. So that was Saturday morning. I then spoke to the chap on the phone. Actually, a private phone call, not a radio broadcast one. About 9:30, I phoned him up. Lovely man, really nice, genuine guy. I could tell that from his voice when I first spoke to him, actually. And I then arranged to go down and see him, and the video will be coming up. I've got to edit that, but there is a short video of me going down to see the tractor. The story continues because I have bought it back. 828 HHT is coming home. Stay tuned.